Chairman, Director Gecki, thank you for your service. FinCEN is responsible for issuing guidance for Section 314B of the Patriot Act, which allows financial institutions to share information with one another regarding activities that may involve money laundering or terrorism. Only 3,626 banks out of the approximately 9,148 banks and credit unions nationwide are actually registered to share information. And in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, only 47 financial institutions out of 178 participate in 314B data sharing. Director Gecki, I have heard from community banks in Kentucky that there is a lack of clarity with the current guidance on the safe harbor on what is permissible to share. If FinCEN's guidance better outlined what data is covered under the safe harbor and promoted more fraud information sharing, it is likely more institutions would participate. What is FinCEN doing to increase the uptake in this data sharing?
Representative Barr, thank you for that excellent question. The 314B program is an important one for FinCEN, and we want to ensure that financial institutions are leveraging the information sharing potential involved in that. To the extent your banks in Kentucky or banks elsewhere are asking for greater clarity on the safe harbor, I can commit that as something we will look into and explore providing it. This is something that we use our FinCEN exchange events to ensure are as well understood, but if greater guidance is needed here, I will certainly look into it.
Thank you very much for your attention to that concern. Also, if there's one complaint or concern that community financial institutions raise with me, it's the prevalence and increased prevalence of fraud in our financial system. And you noted in your written testimony that cyber-enabled fraud remains elevated and increased reports of fraud and cyber crime. We're seeing upticks in that reporting every single year. Elder financial exploitation, government benefits fraud, digital asset investment scams, account takeover attacks, AI-enabled fraud. So lots of theft. What is, and just you've talked a little bit about this in your testimony, but can you amplify FinCEN's focus on this and how you can help financial institutions that want to do right by their customers and limit their exposure to fraud?
Absolutely, Representative Barr. So I think, making sure that financial institutions have the tools they need to help detect it, whether through alerts, advisories, financial trend analyses, through exchange events where we bring law enforcement together with financial institutions and public-private events to ensure that there's a direct communication to act as that critical juncture between law enforcement and banks of all sizes, financial institutions of all sizes, to ensure their data, that they are looking for what law enforcement needs and helping protect their customers and in turn the American people. That is absolutely something. I should also note that another thing that FinCEN does is we also have our own targeting authority through special measures to look at foreign actors of primary money laundering concern that are engaging in fraudulent activity. We took one action this past year against Way1 Group based in Cambodia, which was being used as a vector for elder financial exploitation, for pig butchering and the like. We issued a notice of proposed rule that we hope to make final soon, but that was a way in which we could look at a critical external node for fraud and stop it and help financial institutions detect it in their own systems.
Thank you. My final time, there's a narrative that, and critics of the innovation in crypto and digital assets that the movement of transactions to the blockchain creates additional fraud risks and risks for criminal activity. Can you share FinCEN's views on how the movement of transactions to the blockchain actually could assist in law enforcement in preventing fraud, criminal activity, money laundering, and the like.
Thank you, Representative Barr, and I know that I have very little time, but I can tell you that, yes, the blockchain actually brings transparency, and with the right tools, you can use it to leverage, to really help detect illicit transactions for law enforcement, and I'm happy to engage with you.
Thank you. I yield back.